Hi, I'm Harish Godedi and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about how to improve data security in accounting firms with AWS. So data security at accounting firms is a very critical area to discuss, and today I'm going to talk everything about it that you need to know. So let's jump right in. But first, let's understand the big opportunity. Why accounting firms and why am I focused on them, right? So the global accounting services market is expected to reach $735 billion by 2025. There is a huge opportunity for the accounting firms to grow in 10x or 15x their business. But the challenge really is they have to leverage technology in order to grow their business or grow their client base and serve their client base and handle all the data that come in as a result of growing their business, right? Growing their accounting firms. The challenge is, this is the challenge, and it's not, this data is not from me, it is available online from Gartner and other sources. So the challenge here is, according to Walter Kluwer's survey, only 7% of small accounting firms and 2% of large firms are maximizing their value of current technology. Imagine this, right? If there are 100 accounting firms, only 7 of those small accounting firms are leveraging the technology that they already have. Forget about new technology, whatever they have, they're not using it. In order to be able to capture the kind of opportunity that's out there, accounting firms must seriously prioritize leveraging technology, and that's why I come in and I try to help accounting firms. So let's just go over about a little bit about me. So I started my career in tech support, grew myself to become a chief architect and distinguished engineer at CA Technologies at Whitney Bowes in the US. So I lived in the US and worked in the US for a period of 6 years. Moved back to India to become an entrepreneur and also for other family reasons. Obviously, I lost my first business. It has nothing to do with technology. It's an indoor kids place, and during COVID I lost it, unfortunately, and took a significant financial hit with that as well. At the same time, I was helping small businesses, and helping them scale. And when I say small businesses, it was really accounting firms. So I had a good accounting background. Accounting always made me curious, so I self-learned a little bit of it, and then I started serving the accounting firms in the US and Canada with digital transformation initiatives. I'm also a technology partner with one of my friends' accounting firm, which I help them grow from 10 clients to 250 clients with technology. I'm also partnered with one of the accounting firms in India. So I understand accounting industry both in India and overseas pretty well. So currently helping accounting firms leverage the power of AWS cloud to build the firm of the future. So you can get only you can only grow so much with, I mean, most accounting firms, when I ask this, they are on the cloud. Yes, you are using QuickBooks, probably you're using Receipt Bank, you're using CCH iFirm, or any other practice management technology software. So all of that is good, but you are using the analytics tools, right, like Swift Analytics. So all of that is good, but the real question is, are you ready to grow your accounting firm, to the next level? So are you leveraging data security? Are you using the remote workplace? So do you have remote, if you have a remote workforce, how are you managing them? What kind of technology are you using to manage them? Are you using analytics? Are you using machine learning? So there's so many things that you need to start implementing to be able to capture the huge opportunity that I shared earlier. So let's understand the data security challenges in accounting firms to begin with. The biggest challenge I found from my experience is data is everywhere. So what I found is, like, there is data caseware files somewhere, there are tax cycle files somewhere else, there are client documents in a shared drive, there are QuickBooks reports, there are QuickBooks data is lying somewhere else. So like invoices are in another place. So that the data is spread across the organization or spread across the business firm at different locations. That's one big thing I observed over the last few years. Limited or no access control policy. So in a typical accounting firm where maybe three partners or four partners and five or six accountants, maybe a team of 10, and then they use an offshore team to do the regular work. So then it becomes really like a probably a 17 or 20 member team with the offshore resources. I didn't find any kind of access control policies or limitations to access to data. That's another big challenge. So outsourced IT team. So most of accounting firms, they do have an IT team. I don't say they don't. They do outsource their IT infrastructure management to a managed service provider. What they do is they have their own intention. They have their own business model. Like they rent few servers, they lease it out, they manage some like typical old school type stuff. They manage some cloud stuff, and that's pretty much it. That outsourced IT team doesn't have any vested interest in the accounting firm's growth or accounting firm's business, right? So that's another challenge. End user training is huge. There is a lot of phishing attacks that happen with accounting firms because lack of end user training. So end user training is huge in terms of managing data security. Then there are no standard operating procedures. So what how do you do, like, it is all subject knowledge. There is an expert, I mean, who work like 3 4 years and they know what to do, but there are no standard operating procedures on managing the data. Finally, there are no encryption standards. The data is like data. If you get access to it, you get access to it. There is no encryption. There is nothing for data at rest, or also when the data flows between applications, there is nothing that's available out there. So these are like some of the top challenges, the top challenges that I have identified with accounting firms with respect to data security. So now let's understand how do we solve this. So for that, I have a 6-step data security framework which helped me build scale these accounting firms that I work with. So these are the 6 steps, and I'll go over them briefly with you on this one. The first one is data discovery. The step one of the framework is really the data discovery. So where is my data? And I know this is hard for team members to do because you don't have time. So that's where I facilitate this with a lot of checklists, with a lot of things that we provide. So it makes it really easy to discover the data. There's a lot of automation as well. So data discovery. The next thing is to access control. Once you know the data, we need to build the access control policies on what data who should have access to which team members, and that can be done with some of the racy matrix. There are other spreadsheets that I use that make this process really quick or really useful. So that's access control policies. The second step, once we know where the data is and who must access it, then the next thing is really to understand come up with a migration plan and estimated cost savings. So to understand where the data is, how much you are paying for it, and where do I want to get the data to. Obviously it will be on AWS, right? Because that's where the we are going to put it. And then what are the cost savings that you will experience, and how much AWS is going to contribute to it. So AWS do provide compensate with the cost. There are other, it's called migration program. So we'll get through that when if we go ahead with this program. So then migration plan and the cost savings. So that's really the step 3 is to lock in the plan and approve it and get going. Step 4 is really the lift and shift, so moving the entire data to the cloud, to AWS cloud. Then step 5 is standard operating procedures and checklists. So these are all pre-built, so we're going to go ahead and give it to you so that and tweak it to your organization so that you train. So once you have the checklists and SOPs, then we can go ahead. Final step is to train the team members to actively use them, and it is going to be very easy because once they know what to do and it's documented and everyone does it the same way, then you won't have any problem. So Once the end user training, the SOPs and checklists are well understood by the team, and the end user training is complete, then you can confidently say that your entire accounting firm, the data is really secure. So the data, we are talking about data security in the context of all the data that comes to you, not like really the employee, like the employee are trying to access, and not the data in the context of client data is what we are talking here. So passwords and all of that, that's a different story that we are going to talk in the remote user management and remote employee management use case that we'll talk later. So this is the 6-step framework that will really transform the data security, the whole data security scenario in your accounting firm, uh, in a matter of weeks. It's not going to take like months, it's just going to take weeks to get this all done, and in your for your accounting firm. So here are the AWS services that are going to be used to improve your data security. The key thing here is not all 9 of them are required for every accounting firm. It depends on what the migration plan looks like, but these are and there are few new ones that might be added based on your situation. So here, let's go over the list. So the first one is AWS identity and access management. That's really the roles, the creating the identities. Then second one is directory service, where we go ahead and create a directory for all your employees. If you already have it, we integrate with it. So that's pretty straightforward. Amazon S3, which is the storage, simple storage service if you are going to use it. Then Amazon FSX for Windows file server. So most accounting firms, they do have Windows file shares which we want to move to the cloud. So the Amazon FSX. AWS data sync is really to do the data discovery and move the data to the cloud, in an encrypted way. So that AWS data sync. Then we have AWS audit manager. If you have a lot of data, critical data or data that requires compliance, then we're going to use audit manager to track continuously track the the usage of the data. Cloud trial is really to understand who's using data in which way. Then we have the simple notification service to notify the people, responsible people or accountable people when something happens to the data, or depends on how frequently you want to get notified, on what kind of scenarios you want to get notified. Finally, the key management service is really to store the encryption keys and encrypt the data at rest and data in transit. So these are the 9 AWS services that will really transform your data security, the whole data security at your accounting firm. So not all of them are required, but these are the 9 that will play a big role in shaping your data security for your accounting firm. So here's the thing: I'm offering a free demo and a proof of concept for limited clients. So if you are interested to go ahead to look at how all this works and actually get a proof of concept for your accounting firm, send me an email, send a comment, share a comment on the video, and we can have a call and we can get started. So I hope this video is useful. Go ahead and like the video, subscribe to this channel, because I'm going to share a lot of content on data security and all the use cases for an accounting firm, and also a lot of other AWS services, technical videos. So thanks for watching, and talk to you soon.